Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're just like the clap. You can't get rid of us. We're back again. Doku, stay things.
So, yeah, I might sound despondent on this one because I I kind of feel like unless something changes, unless the winds start blowing a different direction, we we're we're lost. Like we're as a country, we're lost. I mean, we just had the president of the United States, the president of the quote quote free world,
Hmm.
stand up and give an address saying this isn't about your freedom. This isn't about personal choice. It, I have executive power and essentially tell us he's going to use that executive power that he perceives to have, whether it's legitimate, illegitimate, whether Supreme Court agrees with him or disagrees with him. He's basically telling us, fuck your freedom, fuck your personal choice. You're going to submit, or I'm going to make you submit. Like, well, I just really, uh, what? It, huh? That's antithetical to everything the United States stands for. What if my doctor tells me I can't have the vaccine? I'm never going to be able to work for the government again in my life. I'm never going to be able to work for Fox News. I mean, he said, yeah, we're even going to force vaccinations on Fox News. Thought they were a private industry. It, what happened to their private business with all the shit that Facebook and Twitter was doing? And so just, uh, I guess I have no freedom or personal choice because Joe Biden has dictated that he has the executive authority to tell me fuck your freedoms. Uh, okay, I, I guess this is the point we're at. I don't know what else to say. I'm a bit beside myself. Um, Jensen,
Yeah.
for for once, I don't actually feel like ranting. Normally, this would normally get a much more visceral response from me, but
You're giving up. That's
I'm
the
just,
problem.
I'm despondent. I'm not
Yeah.
giving up. I'm not giving up. I still plan on calling this shit out, but I'm extremely despondent about the direction that this country is taking. If or has taken, not taking, but has taken.
Yeah.
If if we don't if we don't say something or do something, if we don't change, if we're we're fucked. I am plain and
Yeah.
simple.
Oh, yes, you are. And please remember, like I was saying to you in private messaging, your country is supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah, it's almost funny.
I'd like to see some brave people stand up for that freedom because it now's the time. Because I mean, I know I'm going to repeat myself on this one, but you just had the president of the United States stand up there and tell you,
Mhm.
not just the American people, but to the entire world, this is not about your freedom. This is not about personal choice. I have the authority to do this, and I'm going to do it. Uh, you want to call Donald Trump a dictator? But then you just heard something like that? Oh, please. Oh, please, oh me, oh my. Tell me who the real dictator is.
Yeah, it's a thing. I don't quite know what to say. I really don't.
Neither do I. I just felt like before YouTube actually yeets us off the platform, and I hate that word yeet, so I'm in a special type of mood if I'm even saying that fucking godforsaken bullshit term. It
Yeah,
and I'll admit part of the reason I hate it is because the amazing fucking Pucus uses it so damn much. But
yeah. Good name, by the way.
I'm not the one who came up with it, but it is a good name. But yeah, I'm sort of just beside myself that the president of the United States and the figurehead of what's supposed to be the free world just basically told us, like Howard Stern style, fuck your freedoms. Hey,
Look,
eh,
you guys should have got the hint when Fauci said it. Shut up, Americans, and just do what you're told. Now the twit in charge is saying, shut up, Americans, and do what you're told. You can A, bend over and do what you're told, or B, fight back. You have no other choice. I can honeycoat this however much you like. In fact, just to make it easier, because I realise that what I'm about to say may offend the Americans. No, you're going to be fine. You're nothing to worry about. You're big, you're strong, you're tough. Your president, he means nothing to you. Even that actually makes you look bad, because suggesting that means that your commander in chief is a dickwit. So there's nothing I can actually say that makes you feel good. All I can say is grow the fuck up and get rid of him
Oh,
if you can. Go on.
like I said, I mean, if this doesn't wake people up, again, you literally just had the commander in chief, the person who controls the military, which
Yeah,
they're going through a purge of all political opposition. By the way, why do you think they're doing that?
yeah. By the way, when you finished, have a look at what Wookie said. But carry on.
Yeah, the why do you think they're going through a political purge? Because yeah, you don't even have a personal choice. This is not about your personal choice. He just flat out told it to you to your face. You don't have a personal choice. You either do what they say or you're fucked. I,
Yep,
there's no way around it.
yep.
Kissinger said in the '60s, if you can get a public, I think he meant public
The
to
yeah,
yeah, public to accept a mandatory shot, you can get them to do anything. This is just a test to see how subordinate we are. Well, yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, look at what Joe Biden just said in his very short but extremely mask off type of speech. I mean, he flat out told it to your face. I
mhm.
know I'm repeating myself. Yep, fuck your freedoms. You have no personal choice. I have the authority. You will do as I say. Well, what about my doctor? What about my employer? Nope, nope.
No, okay. I'm probably not going to be liked for this. You're making excuses. Okay. Hello, MC. Goku's kind of giving up on ranting. This is weird. I don't know what to do. But anyway, you shouldn't actually be trying the but what if my doctor says, but what if my, but what if I. No, how about no? Fuck you. I don't
Well,
care who you are. What's he going to do? Send people round? Bring
yes,
it. Yeah,
yeah, they
bring
will.
it.
Oh no, yeah. Mark my words. The direction they're going, yeah, they will. Because again, I said as I said before, it's not about personal choice. That applies to your doctor too. Their doctor could tell you, like, yeah, look, you can't get the pokey pokey. It's got to kill you. They're gonna force it on you anyways because fuck your doctor. They don't care
Uh,
about your fucking doctor.
dude, please don't use polite versions of. Call it the failed vaccine. Call it what it is, mate. Don't be nice about this.
Oh, you mean the shot that has likely led to the spread of more variants and a more aggressive version of the virus than what we were seeing earlier last year? Yeah, that
Yes,
thing. Yeah, that thing that was supposed to work. Uh-huh.
seawater in a jar. I'm not joking when I said this on MC Show when I've called Sinovax seawater. It wouldn't shock me if that's basically the same crap you guys are getting. It's not making a freaking difference.
Well, dude, shit, did you see the story about Japan where they sent back a bunch of the Moderna vaccines because they found like stainless steel particulates in it? Like they were all contaminated?
Ah, yeah, that's going to go really well for trying to persuade people that you're not trying to put things in with the injections to affect people. There are people out there that believe chips are being inserted in with the injections, and then that comes out. No, that's not going to damage credibility at all. I just can't see how it could.
Well, and that's something I've tried to bring up to people where it's like, look, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I've been vaccinated against a lot of shit,
Mhm.
either through my own volition or because I had to. But the thing is, They've all been tested. I'm not a lab rat. They've been proven. I know it works. But you roll this shit out this fucking quickly, and you're having this type of adverse side effect, adverse reaction. I mean, am I allowed to talk about Israel and the level of vaccination that they have, but then look at the level of cases that they have going on in their country right now? Booster shots. I mean, they're talking about giving people fucking pills.
Yeah,
Clearly, it doesn't fucking work.
yeah.
Uh, well, but the excuse, the shifting of the goalpost. Well, oh, it's just supposed to make symptoms, less severe. I've probably already had the damn thing. Uh, I haven't been sick in like 2 years. Uh,
Mhm.
I don't need a fucking vaccine. I'm fine. Like I'm not even at risk. Why do I need it? Well, because we said so. That's why. Well,
Dude, you don't
no.
need to worry about it because if you haven't had it, they'll send people around, they'll inject you with it, make you ill, and then they'll make you pay for the vaccine because that's what's coming next.
Well, and I saw someone bring something up on Twitter that's important. So let's say there are adverse side effects to this vaccine because again, it's so new and brand new off the shelf, so to speak, unless they're completely lying to you, which they probably
Hmm.
are. But let's say it does have adverse side effects. What's your contingency plan once you've already been injected? Because I have one. It's called I don't have to somehow extract the vaccine from my body and undo any adverse side effects it might have on me. But if I get injected and it gives me an enlarged heart, well, what am I going to go get a heart transplant? Is that my contingency?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I'll kindly tell them. How about go fuck yourself? No, hey, go ahead and do your testing, and I'll wait 5 years. And once we have a decent baseline to figure out what the efficacy of this is, then maybe I'll consider it. But I'm not at risk. I haven't been sick in 2 years.
Yeah.
So how about you can take your I have the authority and go fuck yourself. I'll see you in court. And oh, by the way, I'll also turn around and sue you.
Yeah. Do I really need to bring up the fact that the so-called Supreme Court has got less power than basically a wet fart in a thunderstorm?
Well, yeah, it's not like the current the thing in office, the thing, come on, man,
Hmm.
didn't look at a Supreme Court ruling and say, yeah, but we're just going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And didn't a bunch of your congressmen or governors or something like that turn around, oh, you've got to do this. Nah, don't feel like it. Like that Whitmer woman. Didn't she do that sort of shit?
Yeah, yes, she did. Yes, she
So
did.
what was this? What was you telling me about SCOTUS being the third aspect of the ruling council of your country again? I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. I think I'm missing something.
Well, at this point in time, it would seem like we don't really have one because it seems like the rule of law is either subjective or only utilized for political activism. So I I believe this is the stage in societal collapse where it would be safe to say there is no rule of law.
Okay, so you know, don't want to make mistakes. So we've already defined that SCOTUS basically has no power. That leaves the president and the House as the ruling council. Am I correct so far?
You're not far off base, so yeah.
You can see where this is going, can't you?
Oh, you mean it's an oligarchy?
Oh, he said that word. Congratulations. Yes. Yes. Though it is, isn't it? Come on.
It actually, by definition, yeah, we're technically living under an oligarchy because only the uh, there's only the council of elites who answer only to
Hey,
themselves.
memes. Good to see you, mate.
And I mean, yeah, there's us, the plebeians, but we, we can, I guess, sort of rise up and protest. But yeah, there's a reason. Mark my words. There's a reason they're trying to disarm you and take away your guns because the oligarchy knows there's only one group because the course have been completely, neutered, balls chopped off, and disarmed. so they don't have to worry about any repercussions from that aspect of things. So
Yeah.
the only thing they really have to fear is if the people themselves get pissed off and decide, you know what, fuck you. That's really the only thing they have standing in their way. Why do you think they're so terrified of AR-15s? But you know,
Yeah.
let's just give the Taliban, mortars and fucking grenades and all sorts of other military grade equipment. But God
You,
forbid a civilian have a semi-automatic rifle.
it's a good thing that no one out there has actually brought up the fact that they were trying to take their guns away from you guys. It's not like anybody mentioned it ever. Oh, yeah. Oh, you did, didn't you? Hmm.
Yeah,
Well.
it's not like we've seen historical precedent for these things before, where the government has been overthrown or co-opted or infiltrated from the inside, and the civilian population gets disarmed, and then you know fuck your freedoms. This is not about personal choice. It's not like we've seen this happen before in the past in history. Oh,
What, around
wait.
1930-ish, what are you saying?
Oh, that'd be one example, but we could
Yeah.
also look to a certain country that has Siberia. We could look to a certain East Asian, actually, a few East Asian countries. We could look to a certain island nation. We could look to a couple South American countries. But no, there's no precedence for this.
Yeah.
No civilian needs the right to an evil military style assault weapon, whatever that means.
Yeah. Yeah. They could just save time. Oh, actually, while I think about it, apparently, and I don't know if this is true, you can look this up your bloody self, but apparently CDC actually want the meaning of the word vaccine changed.
It doesn't surprise me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take your word for it because it
Yeah.
wouldn't be the craziest thing I've heard today. Because ironically enough, during Uncle Corporeal Joe's speech, he was saying, "Oh, the vaccine has been FDA approved." Wrong. That is a fucking lie. No, it hasn't. That is a flat out fucking lie.
Okay.
You can go onto the FDA's website and see if the vaccination has actually been approved. It hasn't. They extended an approval, but they changed a technicality or something, but it doesn't mean the vaccine's approved. It's not. It's not approved for standard consumption. It's still only approved for emergency use. So that's a flat out fucking lie.
So what you're saying is they're redefining the word approved soon. Gotcha.
I mean, they
That's how
approved
they'll
it.
do it, by the way. They will just redefine the words until the words say what they want, not what everyone else understands them to be.
Oh, that's the thing. They approved it for emergency use, and then they changed the name, and then they reapproved it, but it's still for emergency use. So it legalese semantics, but it's not approved for general use. It's still emergency use. And memes, to answer your question, no,
No.
you
Mm-hmm.
cannot. You cannot sue. You cannot sue the government. You cannot sue the CDC. You cannot sue the FDA. You cannot sue the manufacturer, and you cannot sue the doctor who uh, said, "Yeah, you're good to go and safe." No, you just got to live with
Okay.
the consequences.
MC, just exactly what I've just finished saying to you. There you go.
The CDC just changed its definition on its website that vaccine is now not something that prevents infection from. Then,
You
well,
thought I was joking. No, it was something I'd heard. And yeah,
oh, and do I really need to point out any more of how much of a fucking dog and pony show this is? I mean, I've been saying this whole time. Look, if you want to get vaccinated, be my guest. Like, talk to your doctor, do what you think is right. But when you have an authoritative source coming out and saying this is not about your freedom, you have no personal choice. Fuck your doctor; they don't have a choice either. You're going to do this,
yeah,
even if it's going to kill you. It,
yeah.
and oh, by the way, even if it does kill you or give you permanent medical damage that cannot be reversed because you've already been given the jab, you can't sue the person who told you to get it. So I can't sue the government. I can't sue like Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson and Johnson. So they have no liability. Oh, so what? I'm basically a fucking lab rat.
Apparently, vaccine only needs to lessen the symptoms now.
But that's not a that's not a
Vaccine.
that's
No,
not a
I know.
vaccine. Uh,
I want
like,
to laugh at this, I really do, but it's so bad. It really fucking is so bad.
that's that's the reason you don't hear me ranting like I normally would be, because you're right, it's bad, but it is just such a wild thing to observe, and then to see people just support this and lose their minds. It's like, where did the vaccine kill off 90% of your brain cells? Like, do you not see what's going on? Hey,
Hmm?
how how have you not put two and two together yet? It this is it, Joe Biden just flat out told you this isn't about your freedom. It's not about your personal choice. Guess what? It's also not about your health, because they don't care about your doctor. They don't care about what your personal medical situation is. They just want you to submit. This how how much more clear can we make it that this is about control? Uh, Without them flat out coming out and say, like, yeah, we really don't care if you get sick and die, vaccinated or not. This is just about making sure you do what we tell you to do. It, it, can it be any more, Jensen? Can it be any clearer at this point in time?
No, no, it can't. And here's the problem, dude. Nothing is going to happen. Okay? I'm sorry to say this to you, but all of the upset you're currently feeling is going to just be ignored by your cough cough ruling class, because the people out there are going to be, we're offended, we're disgusted with it. Ooh, sparkly. As the government waves something in front of their face and they completely forget. So,
Why do you think I
yeah.
called out the 918 thing? Because it's just going to be a distraction from
Yeah.
whatever the hell's going to happen next. But I can tell you this: I hate to submit, but I'll submit to one. I'll submit to one thing.
I think MC wants in. This is going to get interesting.
Jensen, I apologize because I was not supposed to keep you
So,
here very long. But I'll just say I'll submit to one thing. Jensen,
yeah.
you were right. As
Sorry,
as an
guys.
as an American,
Yeah.
as a constitutionalist, in good conscience, and I really hate to say this, and I don't care if anybody clips this, but
Mm-hmm.
as an American and as a constitutionalist, as things stand right now, unless something drastically changes, I cannot call this country the land of the free or the home of the brave. I can't,
No.
because it's not. That would be a
No.
lie.
MC, it's in your Discord link. Oh, he's here. Hello, MC. Who are you going to shout at?
Who am I going to shout at?
Yes. Is it me?
No.
Oh,
You
damn.
guys,
Okay.
this is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
All this is hilarious to me. Right? Here's my suggestion, folks. All right, this will get us banned. Okay, here's my suggestion: buy guns. Get your powder ready. This is going to get serious, folks. He's not going to stop.
No.
All right. And number one, and number two is you can see what they've done. The CDC just got proven again. All right, that they're not following science. That it's all political with them. And before somebody tells me I'm wrong about that again, all you have to do is take a look at their acquiescence to the teachers union via email, because the teachers union was going to say, we don't like your stance, you'd better change it. And they rewrote their stance on mass mandates. It's not about science. It's not about what they found. And it's never going to be about what they found. And I've got more words, because I have warned you clowns. I'm not talking to you guys necessarily, but all the people, Doku, all right, like you, that have said such wonderful words about the frickin' hedonistic asshat known as Howard Stern. Have you gotten it in your heads now who these people always have been? They've never been about freedom of speech. They've never been about your freedoms or anything else. They've always only been about themselves and what they can do for their narcissistic, hedonistic lifestyles. And anybody who sit up there and takes a look at Howard Stern and goes, "Oh, he used to be so different." No, he's the same asshat he's always been. Liberals never change.
God, I'm glad somebody brought the heat, because I just feel despondent right now.
Yeah.
They don't change. They're not the people who care about you. They have never cared about you. They don't care about the truth. You could present it to them, the truth, right to their face, and they will use whatever means they have at their disposal to do away with it. And if that means do away with you, guess what? You're part of that. They will do away with you if that's what it takes.
Oh, again, it's like Jimmy Kimmel coming out and saying, like, "Oh, people who are unvaccinated should just, not receive medical treatment." What happened? What happened to that? I'm curious, MC, because I'd like to hear your take on this one. Oh, aren't these the same people that were saying, healthcare is a human right and we should have universal healthcare? What happened to that narrative? Where did that go?
Oh, it was never about that. I've said that how many damn times. Well, universal healthcare sounds wonderful as long as you try and do it. See, it's the concept. They try to sell a concept. They don't try to sell reality. They try to sell feelings. Oh, I would love it if everybody had healthcare. Yay! Let's all sing Kumbaya. La 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 la. Oh, I gotta pay for it? I gotta pay for somebody else? I gotta pay for somebody else that's not living the lifestyle that I think that they should have, that the government has now come back and said, well, wait a minute here. You are living a lifestyle that we didn't like. How about this? Since the fact is, all right, you can't catch AIDS unless you sleep around like a slut, that we sit up there and don't treat you for AIDS. How about the fact that if you know what? You wouldn't get syphilis. Syphilis and gonorrhea would die out, folks, if you just wouldn't sleep with every freaking alley cat that comes down the line. How about that? Oh, my body, my choice, right?
Gentlemen, one moment, please. MC, the link. No, you're like this. You want to get ready to have a little fit as well, so prepare yourself, mate. You know that little thing you put in Twitter about the vaccine that you retweeted, blah blah. Apparently, it can't be liked and it can't be commented on, according to Girardi. So enjoy that one.
All I did was retweet the guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'd like to point out real quick though, how funny would it be, considering the narrative is healthcare is a human right, unless you're not vaccinated against the koof, in which case healthcare is not a human right. So, all right, let's flip that on its head real quick and see how the liberals feel about this. Abortion is not a human right if you don't use a condom.
Being gay isn't a human right. I mean, if you want to get treated for AIDS and you're gay, well, too bad.
Yeah, see how quick their tune will change. I would love to see that debate. I'd love to see it happen.
Memes has said, did he hear you speaking about him, MC? Did you mention memes?
I may have mentioned memes about a comment or two earlier, but when he was talking about bleach, right? Well, he really wasn't talking about bleach. I'm the one who mentioned bleach.
Yeah.
He said mentioned sunlight, And I was kind of like offhandedly mentioning, are you trying to do the same thing to Trump when he sat up there and said, "Dude, bleach"? But it was I was being too subtle there. I'll be honest, I was being subtle. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't be doing that. And no means I wasn't talking about you. Although now that Memes has brought himself into the conversation. Get in here, Memes. All right. Now that you brought yourself into this conversation, all right. I must admit that Memes has come around. He has come around to dueling. We need to pick up dueling again.
I agree.
We need to sit up there and authorize dueling as let's make it a frickin' gladiatorial sport.
Two go in, one come out.
See,
I have nothing more to say.
I'm not opposed to this idea, because if Joe Biden wants to send somebody and gonna forcibly violate my body, my choice rights, then send your best champion. Pick your let's do this Game of Thrones style. Pick your champion.
Oh, no. My turn. Fuck champion. Grow a pair of balls. Step in yourself, bitch. It doesn't matter how bad you are. If you got problems, step in yourself. Champions are the worst idea. And trust me, you're talking to a Brit here. This is something we did for absolute freaking years. No, do not allow champions. That is bad.
Oh, see, the
Okay?
thing is, I have a caveat.
Uh-huh.
They can pick their champion. That'll be fine. Trial by combat. But I get to dictate the rules. They can have a pair of brass knuckles, and I get my 44 mag.
Do you know, I'm actually fine with people having equal weaponry. But if you got an issue with somebody, it should be you and that person. Don't bring no other motherfucker into it, okay? No, I'm sorry, no.
See, Jensen, your idea is already going to fall apart right there, though, because let's be blunt. The cowards we have on the left will never step in the ring with anybody else to defend their own ideals.
In that case, they have no right to those ideals. Step up or shut up.
Well, I would agree with you, but ironically enough, they have enough brainwashed idiots that put them in positions of power that they don't have to.
No, you
It
don't
will never
need
happen.
you don't need champions, but you do need seconds for when the little pussy runs.
Fair enough.
I would agree, but I think the second should actually be provided by the other person. That way, when said pussy turns and runs, he just pulls a gun and shoots in the back of the head. Execution style.
See, I'm not one of these people who thinks you should be going out there with guns necessarily. I believe that if you have the right to choose your weapon, right? You get challenged, you get to choose a weapon, right? That's how I look at it. And I'll go swords. Let's go, boys. All right, let's go back to the old days. We can go to First Blood. All right, let's go back to rapiers. Let's go back to sabers. All right, I have no problem with this. Okay, I'm not one of these people who thinks that this is as the old man of this group. I'm more than willing to step into the ring with anybody with a saber. All right, I'm not afraid of that. Okay, guns. The problem with gun is quite frankly it comes down to speed, and then you get the young people going out there playing freaking over the old people. All right, I don't believe in that.
Fair.
All right,
Now,
so then we
if you wanna
restrict
talk
it to
about-
blades. Let's restrict it to blades.
So I believe that let's pull swords, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's start doing this. Let's do away with this nonsense. Let's start a concentration with this stuff. But let me tell you right now, this is not going to go the way people think it is. All right, well, any of us. This is not going to go the way any of us think of this because we don't know exactly how long it's going to end up. But you're watching it. When you see a woman in a freaking gorilla mask trying to egg a black governor, a black candidate for governorship, and doesn't get called a racist, and has the audacity to say he's a race traitor. You got a problem, folks. You got a problem when these people will not show that on television. They will not show the absolute disgraceful bigotry, hatred, white supremacy of these people, and you dumbass liberals all sit up there and go, yup, it's all right. Everything's okay. See? It's gonna get a lot freaking worse before it gets better. Because
the thing is,
folks,
MC,
this is not gonna end.
MC, we brought that up actually earlier on one of the today's previous streams, and I showed them the video. I think Jensen, was that the first video we did today?
I think so. Sounds right.
Yeah, a white woman in a gorilla mask trying to throw an egg. Granted, she missed because, well, let's be blunt, California regressive left liberals are not exactly the most athletic people in the world. They're too busy doing drugs. But yeah, if CNN was actually objective journalism, if MSNBC was objective journalism, you'd be selling that to your audience like hands over fist, which is, again, I posed the question before, I'll pose it again. MSNBC, CNN, why are you passing up that sweet paycheck? Because that is low-hanging fruit.
I tried to explain this before. All these people on the left, like Styx Hexenhammer and Timmy Pool. Oh, no, it's all corporatism. The only reason they're doing this for dollars and everything else. No, it's not. I have warned you guys for a long time. It isn't just about money. Oh, sure, you'll see them sacrifice here and there for the money, but it's about pushing their agenda first and foremost. Money comes as a poor second to them. Okay, it always has, and the reason for it is they've got the great money spigot right now. The reason that you're seeing CNN, the reason you're seeing MSNBC, ABC, and everybody else, all right, go completely woke and completely left is because they know monetarily they're not going to suffer. Because what will happen is any money and any revenue they lose will be funded back to them from the U.S. Treasury.
Yeah,
in some way,
they'll get
shape,
bailed
or
out.
form. They will sit up there and put it back into their pockets. Good old Biden and his crony boys, all right, and the rest of those liberals. Well, Biden's not really good because he can't even tell you what he had for breakfast this morning. But those people will sit up there and fund them. They are doing the funding for these people. They've been doing it for years.
People, we have a somebody. MC, go.
Oh, I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to let MC and Memes go.
Still adventures someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose. Beetlejuice.
Why do you guys think I'm going to beat?
Hey guys, what's going on?
I'm not going to beat.
Hello,
on
MC.
I don't disagree.
No.
Except for the fact.
Scary.
Go ahead,
gentlemen.
The scary part about the situation is, for a number of things MC said prior to just bashing on lefties, I agree with him wholeheartedly in many ways. Yeah. It's a terrible thing because all of a sudden it's like bang heads, crossover. I apologize, I haven't yet to solve for loop quantum gravity. I was hoping we could avoid this situation. We'd be like, oh my god, cool science stuff. Let's not get to this point. And then President Biden kept talking.
Oh, it's so much.
I have a question for you, Memes.
Okay.
Weren't you one of the people who's this said that he was a wonderful fan of Howard Stern?
What?
Oh, hold on, MC. Before you and Memes start, I just have to point out. I love how Memes goes before Biden started talking. I feel like that's how most people feel. Or
and again, just politically, you got to give it to the guy for being honest. But I'm like, even if this is the road you're going to go down, you do it like how Massachusetts implemented actual legalization of marijuana. You take 18 to 26 months to go through a bureaucratic nightmare, and then one day it's like, oh, it's here. Nobody really seemed to notice. It didn't really seem to affect anybody. You go and you say something like that, and at that point it's like, all right, so what about the doctrine of bodily autonomy? I'm just saying that's important.
When it comes to weeds, when it comes to weed, all right. When it comes to marijuana, come talk to me about that in about 2 years. Okay, I want you all to come. I'm making a prediction right now. In 2 years, folks, come all you people who are talking about, wow, this is legal in my state. Come talk to me. Come talk to me when all of a sudden the authoritarians are beating down your doors, or they basically said that you can't get a savings account. All right, you can't work here at this bank. You can't have this bank account. All you people kept telling me how it's all legal. I want you to, in two and a half years, I want to see you all come back and show me how legal weed is.
MC, what tiny thing, yeah? You're saying 2 years. I don't actually think you guys have got that long. I realize you've been hyperbolic by saying 2 years. You actually mean damn sight less. But I'm going to be honest. I don't think you're going to get anywhere near to the 2 year point. Sorry, Memes, but
no. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So dueling. This is very interesting because I had a conversation with my father, Mr. Memes, who happened to be an attorney for 50 years. And it's like, I told him dueling. And then it's just his natural thing is, well, blah, blah. It's like, well, you got to be careful with dueling, because if you challenge someone to a duel, the challengee, if you would, then gets to set the terms. That's the thing. That was how it actually basically was. It's like, all right, that's why you don't necessarily go around, kind of like Doku was saying. It's like, that's not something you should take lightly. I understand it's very profitable and everything right now to say all these very terrible things about a whole bunch of different people on the internet. At some point, it's like, well, talk can be kind of cheap. But if the payout is very high, I think this might explain a lot. And again, don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm just saying, all right, well, how do you fix the game? Well, you get a patch update. I'm saying if we added dueling as a patch update and at least in as well a way we could, I think it would explain a lot. Because at that point, it's like, all right, are you actually willing to die for what you believe in? That might change the dynamic a little.
It might. But what's more is memes. I've got a question, like I was saying before. Aren't you a big fan of Howard Stern?
I may have listened to some of his show once. I mean, he's the guy that sells like the satellite radio, right? I know, yeah. I know who it is. I know that like President Trump had been on his show and was Mr. Trump for a while. It's like, would you expect me to have a generally positive attitude? I'm like, be kind of.
You're part of that.
Cool.
You're in that. You're in that.
I was never really a big Howard Stern fan. I was never really a big Donald Trump fan. It's like some dude out there that's famous that has a bunch of money. I heard he said some not so nice things about some people. I think he may have been talking about me too.
Oh, was I talking about you? No. The reason I brought you into that in that regard because you're in that generation that lauded that stupid son of a bitch.
Don't let me into that. I never liked him.
All right.
Hold on, no. Whoa, MC. I thought he was actually closer to your generation than to us.
No, this is the guy's generation who was in that generation of the Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, so what? 94, 95? How old was you in 95, Doku?
An age where I shouldn't have been watching Howard Stern, but I had a TV, and guess what? He was on TV, and his old shtick back from the mid '90s was he would always have like attractive women, sometimes porn stars, and it was kind of risque. So late night, kind of younger. I went through puberty early, so yeah, I watched him, but I didn't watch Howard Stern for Howard Stern. I watched it for the attractive women.
See that's also part of the reason some of the clips I came around, I found myself gravitating towards a couple of those, and this might explain a lot. This might also explain why Jon Stewart was quite popular as well.
Yeah, hey,
now that I think about it, I'm just like
sex sells. I never watched Howard Stern because I liked Howard Stern. I couldn't give two shits.
Just magically, it's like, all right, positive things, positive memories, and at one point, apparently the Daily Show and Colbert Report happened to be at a time of day where many couples actually were copulating and stuff like that. It was very interesting. So I'm just like, whether or not people actually agree with what was going on in the show, it was always in the background. So it's like, I'm familiar with that.
We're paying attention to the tits. That's what we're doing. Tits, ass, and legs. That's what we're looking at. Like
shirtless equality.
There you go. See, common ground.
Howard,
we don't want to be sexist.
For those who don't know, Howard Stern made his chops. All right, began on radio. All right, and he began supposedly as one of these free speech guys, going basically trying to claim the successive mantle of someone like George Carlin. Right.
Yeah. That's all I've heard.
Now, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge George Carlin fan, but I'm not as much of a hater of George Carlin as I am with Howard Stern.
He was the guy that said the things you're not supposed to say.
Well, it's more than just that. He tried to pretend himself that he was part of that younger generation because he himself is older, don't get me wrong. But he was into that toilet humor. All right, and people couldn't get enough of it on the radio, and he would get banned from different stations, and he would talk about how his free speech rights are being violated and everything, and he would garner a bunch more people that would listen to his nonsense and listen to his crap, and people would go like, oh, he's a moderate. He's one of the moderates I would follow. I like him. And it's like, he's not a moderate. He's a freaking diehard leftist. He always has been. And now he's proven it with his whole thing of saying, well, it's not about your rights. I don't care about your freedom. You're right. The only you don't care about freedom at all. Because freedom means sitting up there and allowing someone else to do something that you might not like. This is something they've never been approved of. But see, if it's something they like, then somebody's standing up and just telling them what you're doing is wrong. How dare you? Oh, you moralistic assholes. Oh, look at these people. Oh, the vapors. Oh, they're violating my rights. Oh, no. Oh, how can it be? That's all I freaking heard. And then they would reframe the argument away from what it should have been, all right, and use false narratives. Well, what people do, for example, in their own bedrooms is up to them. There was never an argument about that. There's never been an argument about that. But it became that. In fact, that became the go-to for it. And that whole damn generation, that's one of their big go-to points. And when you point it out to them, they're like, because they don't think. They haven't been taught to think. They've been taught to emote.
Yeah.
But when somebody emotes back in them and throws it right in their face with facts and emphasis, then they get mean. They start calling names. They start creating adjectives. They'll never talk about the actual fact or the actual abilities of it. Nobody, for example, is talking right now about, let's say F means you've been following this. You've been aware of this. Tell me right now, what percentage of the people, all right, that are in hospitals are fully vaccinated and still have been listed as COVID-19 victims?
I have no idea.
Why? Why don't you know?
Because I see people politicizing something that never should have been politicized, so of course it's going to go horrifically.
Because they haven't told us, have they? They're not giving us those numbers, are they? It's amazing how these numbers just wait.
Numbers and metrics from the government that depending on the year, the metric may change.
How many times have you heard the vast majority of those people hospitalized were unvaccinated? How many times have you heard that?
I remember hearing that. I remember seeing a little pop-up that's like 98%. I'm like, oh, that's a very large number.
Okay, when I ask for where the numbers are, then how come I don't have those numbers? How come I can't look at those numbers to validate or verify any of this?
I mean, have they been reported?
We got reported to somebody. It was the CDC that was making the claims, right?
I mean, were there
They're
no
the government
people?
agency, right?
I mean, there would have to be like 1 or 2% at least, because even 98%, I mean, that seems large, but you assume that there would at least be some people, so they would have those numbers to account for it, right?
All right. So where are they? Why come I don't have access to them?
Oh.
How come the government agency that I'm relying upon to give me this information, that tells me this data, the ones who told me that the Moderna vaccine is 95% effective, how come I don't have the numbers?
You mean the stage 3 trial that went on during a lockdown?
No, I'm talking about the Moderna vaccine itself, because the numbers that they got that the CDC has quoted aren't their numbers. They're the numbers from
the company. Oh, I remember this wonder drug back in like the 90s with less than a 1% addiction rate. I am not a doctor. I believe it was called Oxycontin. Didn't Purdue just go bankrupt for like billions of dollars?
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Why would a company lie to you?
Yeah. Well, gee, I wonder why.
Just one thing, Doku, wasn't it Moderna you was talking about that the Japanese sent back because it was, corrupted and shit?
Yeah. The Japanese suspended the use of Moderna and then sent it back because they found stainless steel particulates in the vaccine.
Well, okay, there's a reason for that.
What was that due to the temperature at storage?
No,
I have no idea.
No, it's an intentional additive. Okay, you guys, if you need to start learning to talk to some of the people within the medical community that were part of this, right?
Well, so why did the Japanese send it back?
Well, because they didn't expect it. Okay, one of the reason that stuff is there, right? It was an attempt early on to keep the vast majority of the medicine localized, all right, within the body. Because the one thing that they were worried about was the prion the prion production in other organs that they had never tested. Okay, so what they attempted to do was when they gave you the shot, they were expecting that because it had the additive, the steel additives and the other additives to it, that it would stay localized within the muscle tissue, right? Which is where they had wanted it to work and then spread from the body from that point. Okay, what they didn't want is the body to overall take it and then start producing it in the various organs that they'd never tested.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, MC. You'd be more knowledgeable about this than me, but that sounds a lot like I'm, I don't know, being used as a lab rat.
I can't say that you're not. No.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Which it's kind of where I have my skepticism. Again, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm just very skeptical. I'm not a doctor.
No, it's your body, it's your choice. It's the doctrine of bodily autonomy. I mean, that's why it's a doctrine, because it's important, right? I mean, dude, I went into the hospital to get vaccinated the other day. It's like I stepped on a nail at work. I haven't had a tetanus shot in a while.
Didn't you already have the COVID? Weren't you a positive test for COVID?
Well, see, here's the thing. I suspect I may have had it once, maybe twice, and maybe the Delta strain. Dude, I mean, like, I'm working in a place with an extremely high turnover rate and everything. And so, yeah, it's larger ceilings and everything, but it's like, I have no idea. The way the system is set up, it's like, okay, I go out there, I get tested. I'm pretty much just going to and from work mostly. Maybe I run outside, but it's like, all right, I'm doing that. And it's like people are always coming, and there's going to be people that are sick there and everything. And just there were some precautions for a while, but it's like, all right, well, if I'm going to get sick, I'm going to get sick. The first time I got sick back in February, and we weren't really looking for it over here. And they had suspected maybe one of my roommates had flu B. But all I know is this thing kicked my butt. Like, I woke up and normally I get more energy throughout the day, but dude, I just kept feeling more and more tired. For about 5 days, it was rough. And like, even as like a healthy 36-year-old dude, it's like, I was like, all right, if I don't start getting better, I'm going to the hospital. This sucks because I wasn't sleeping and everything. And I could see, like, if I had underlying conditions and stuff, that could be fatal. I can totally see that. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, after that, for the next like 14 to 16 months, I was basically fine. I hadn't gotten sick at all. And then New Year comes around, all right, I kind of get sick. I'm like nowhere near as bad. Lasted probably around the same amount of time. But then a couple of weeks later, I got this, I started feeling sick again, which felt kind of weird. And like, it wasn't as bad as what I had just had, but it felt like it kind of lingered. It's kind of like almost like a scratchiness in the throat. And I'm like, again, I'm not a doctor and everything, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe I got it once, maybe I got it twice, maybe I got the Delta. It's like, oh, okay. And again, this is just my lived experience that I had as a frontline worker, where you're getting exposed to this stuff, and if you miss work, you don't get paid, because you need to basically like not go to work for 2 weeks if you happen to know, and then you don't start getting paid unless you miss 3 weeks. So the system is set up to screw you. It's like, does it surprise anybody why like it just didn't get snuffed out? Because like you look at the incentive structure, it's like, how dare you go to work? It's like, are you going to pay me not to go to work? No. I'm like, dude, I swear a lot of this probably could have been prevented by folks having access to PTO. Or if you're going to spend freaking $6 trillion, allocate in a way that makes sense. I don't know.
They did allocate it so it made sense. It made sense for them to get.
I know. A lot of rich people got very richer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's sensible.
And you're right, Destroyer. I know. That's one of the points. Pfizer, the FDA set up to improve the Pfizer model. Why did they approve Pfizer when they didn't approve Moderna? When Moderna submitted first, Moderna had all their records and submitted it all first. Tell me why Pfizer got approved, but not the Moderna shot.
Because one of the board members on Pfizer used to be the head of the FDA. Connections. It's about networking.
I thought it was because they made Viagra.
Wait,
which apparently, according to at least an article I saw, again, I'm not a doctor, but may help with heart disease or something.
Yeah, except for the fact that it actually will expand the blood vessels. So if you have tight nerves...
It didn't make sense to me. I took it by that if you're having a healthy sex life, that may overall be beneficial.
Well, and the thing is, it actually expands the blood vessels. But here's a fun little fact about Viagra. go check your eye or go check with your eye doctor before you take it if you ever find yourself in a situation where you might need to take it, because if you have tight nerve bundles in your eyes, when the blood vessels expand, it'll actually lead to blindness. It, but it,
Well,
but
I've never heard of it leading to blindness. I have heard that it will cause vision issues to where everything becomes blue.
no, yeah,
Literally.
it can actually lead to permanent
Wow.
blindness. And
Wait,
extreme,
wait.
it's an extreme
Is that
case.
where they
But
got the if don't masturbate because you might go blind? Is that where that came from?
no memes, no. It's because it expands the blood vessels in your eyes, it actually damages the optic nerve, so it can lead to vision loss, but it also can lead to permanent blindness. Again, it's an extreme case, but they'll never tell you about that because, again, it's a business. And that's what people have to realize about the medical industry. Yes, it's about your health. Yeah, that's a thing, but it's a business. It's an industry, and it's about profit first and foremost. Everybody needs to realize that. And why did Pfizer get approved before Moderna? Well, Pfizer has connections to the FDA. That's why. That's all you
How
need
come
to know.
AstraZeneca hasn't been approved?
Because they don't have connections the same way that Pfizer does.
And there's a reason I'm broaching AstraZeneca, because AstraZeneca at least shows a little bit of longevity in its supposed protection in comparison to what Moderna and the Pfizer shots and the Johnson & Johnson shots are showing.
It's competition. A winner. Ironically enough, this is how capitalism works in its most, admittedly, in its most corrupt form. They have connections to the administrative, the government side of things, and guess what? They're going to pick winners. They're going to pick losers, and guess what? Whoever has the best connections wins. That's just the way it works, whether you like it or not.
That's the problem. That's not capitalism.
But no. Those are situations, at least within certain contexts I learned of in school. You're supposed to, I believe they call it, recuse yourself if there may be a conflict of interest. Why don't I hear about more folks recusing themselves from decisions where they might at least be perceived as biased? I mean, isn't high school act in good faith?
Memes, that is an incredibly idealistic way to view things. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's incredibly idealistic because that's not the way things work in the real world, and we all know it. It's the unfortunate truth. We like to say a well-regulated free market, but let's be blunt. A regulated free market is just the same way that a quote quote free society is just something waiting to be corrupted. And guess what? That's what you got. It's corruption. It's about profit. I hate to break it to everybody. It sounds nihilistic, but that's the truth about the matter of what's going on. It's profit. It's connections. It's about who you know. It's corruption, and it's plain and
not
simple.
just about that. It's also ideological, and that's the part that you cannot be forgotten. And the ideology is far more dominant at this stage.
So what you're saying is we need to legalize dueling.
I said that for a long time, haven't I? Memes.
No. Hey, MC, this is the thing. And again, like, what consenting adults do with consenting adults, hey, I mean, that's up to them. Hi, Batman. But at the same time, I'm sitting there, it's like, I'm willing to let a lot of stuff go. I'm like, all right, let's see how things play out. And you see how things play out, and you see them continuing to play out, and it's like, all right, well, there might be some hills here.
Yeah,
Are there any nice hills?
People keep saying to me, yeah, if we brought back dueling, people would be a lot more polite. No, they wouldn't. They'd be going out of the way to cause trouble. That's what they did when dueling was legal. They literally went out of their way to get into fights. I mean,
there's only so many fights
somebody who mildly annoys you. You go up to them, slap. You've offended my honour. Yeah, swords at dawn to the death. You don't have to worry about him ever again. But then you build up a reputation. Other people want your reputation. Historically, dueling has been shown to increase the level of violence in society rather than decrease it.
That's because you've never been in a society like America. Okay?
No. During the days of dueling, it was worse over here.
I'm not worried about what it's like over there.
Well, I'm not worried about what it's like over
there. Violence. America has been a violent nation for a long time.
Yeah.
And dueling did not make us more violent. In fact,
A little
actually,
confusion.
basically
You're talking
ended
from a
dueling.
European. You're talking from a British context. MC's talking from American context.
Hold
which
on,
aren't
hold
the
on.
exact same
Hold-
things.
hold-
They have
hold- hold-
similarities, but we're
Hold
arguing
on,
about
hold
it
on,
as if it's the
Mimes,
same.
and Galactus there. What culture has America got? Oh, it's got a load of different European cultures.
It doesn't matter what your freaking
It
subcultures
does.
are. They're not a culture in and of themselves in America.
Not-
There is an American culture.
Is there?
And when we finally got around to actually, quote unquote,
No.
banning dueling, what happened in the United States? We had a civil war.
Wait, what?
Just pointed out.
Right? Hey, we've had a couple of those.
Not like ours.
I think our best
No,
one
I
was in
thought-
1776.
Oh.
And even in 1776, where we broke away for our independence, okay, you didn't lose 20% of your populace.
True.
No, we lost a shitload of German mercenaries, though. No, they got killed by all those French soldiers who were helping you lot.
There was not that many French soldiers that were helping us. The
They
French
gave us
fleet
a nice
did.
statue.
No, they were helping them. Nice statue.
She's a very tall woman. I like tall women.
Yeah, that just shows how much the French actually thought of the United States. The French could make better statues than that.
She's showing us her feet.
Better looking statues than that as well. I mean, that is one ugly bint.
I apologize, Lady Liberty.
Compare the Statue of Liberty to, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower. I'll be honest with you. I think we got the better end of the deal.
Well, all the Eiffel Tower is a scaled up copy of Blackpool Tower.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, I'm gonna have to cut everybody off for a second because I don't know why I'm being asked to share this with the classroom, but I'm being asked to share something with the classroom. So let's share with the class.
Point of horror, we're not in a classroom.
Ready?
Oh, it is a class. Oh.
Jensen, you promised you would never display those.
Oh.
What can I say? It was a good idea at the time.
Why you're
When the
dressed as
vacuums are
Robin?
rocking, don't come knocking.
Why you're dressed as Robin? I don't want to know. But why is B dressed as Batman?
That's actually the disturbing part. It could have been. No, actually, no. There's not enough hair on the picture. B's
Tits are
very
too
hairy.
big as well.
Also true. Yeah.
Again, I don't know. I don't want to know the backstory behind this. I'm just doing as I'm told, like a good American, because fuck our freedom.
Yeah, that's right there. The United States of Commie, as it soon will be. Actually, you know, to more accurately depict what the USA is now, you take the I and the T in America and switch their positions.
I've been calling it the USSA, but that's just me.
Yeah, I said that at MC a couple of weeks ago when he did his last stream, and he nearly jumped down my throat.
Although to be fair,
are you saying
I
that
gotta.
you reported me? Are you the one who set up there? Are you saying that you're the one who got me banned?
No. If I'd have got MC, you know for a fact, if I'd have gotten you banned,
It's a joke.
I would have DM'd you and rubbed your nose in it.
It's true, actually.
To be fair, since we were on the topic of the fuck your freedoms thing, I do have to give credit where credit is due. Despite all right, despite Arnold Schwarzenegger and Howard Stern coming out and say like, "Oh, fuck your freedoms," at least they didn't go to the low that Jimmy Kimmel did, where he basically wants you to die. I get it. It might have been. He might have said like, "Oh, it was just a joke, guys." Oh, yeah, I saw that clip. It didn't really sound like a joke.
I think Jensen can back me up on this. Jimmy Kimmel is basically the American Terry Christian.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I did not need that mental image. Oh, dude, that actually makes my chest hurt. Just thinking about that creature.
Yeah, Jensen, he makes all of my previous light incarnations hurt.
You know what? Yeah.
That's
one thing I'd like to say before you do, mate. Susan, nice idea with the shoot now, ask questions later. How about shoot now? You don't need questions.
Oh, can I ask everybody in the chat?
No.
everybody in the chat, type 1 in the chat if you think memes looks like what Jesus would look like if he was permanently on marijuana.
We've already had a conversation about that, Batman, and
Have you?
it has actually been said he looks a mix of Jesus Christ and Keanu
Shaggy.
Reeves. Oh no, they're going for Keanu Reeves.
No, I think Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
1, I am not Jesus. 2, why does it say massa down below there?
That was my
Don't
fault.
ask questions you don't want the answer to.
This is also true.
This is why they call us racist.
What? I'm sorry. We are not saying anything racist. Massa.
I'm just saying most everything right now, in my opinion, is explained by modern mimetic theory, the velocity of information, everything that's going on, and at this point, I think we're going to have to officially start the let's legalize dueling campaign.
Information does not have a velocity; it has no mass. To achieve velocity, you must have mass.
And memes, the fact that you think it's racist, I'm going to dub that as being racist. So I'm going to
for
see
my
your
racism.
Yeah,
The
you
racist is racist.
yeah. Memes indulges in the racism of low expectations.
One of my first 7 videos was like, is memes a racist? Or maybe it's just memes is a racist. I nationalized. What was it?
And there is one other tiny thing.
Furry. Tigerson. He was from the Midlands.
If you think that memes looks like Jesus, one day you're going to see Doku and you're going to realize how wrong you really are.
Well, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Doku looks like a Bronze Age Arab.
No. If you want to talk about somebody who looks like a mix between Shaggy and Jesus, anything you want to say, mate? Anything?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
actually, Memes, can you take your sunglasses off for a second?
I have crazy eyes.
Just humor me here. Now, smile. Put up, do a thumbs up sign and point at the camera at the same time. There you have it. Remember Dogma? Buddy Christ.
What are you talking about? That's Charles Manson before he got a haircut.
I mean, possibly either of those. I'm unfamiliar, but all I know is with
Charles Manson.
Oh,
dear old Charles
he kill a bunch of people?
Yeah, he's
Chaz Manson.
He's been rumored.
I have the You Say Psycho like it's a bathing shirt next to me.
Charles Manson didn't actually kill anybody. He got other people to do it for him.
True. How shorty?
Bit like I don't know, Joe Biden.
So he was a stochastic terrorist.
Yeah.
Hello Sharati.
Anything? Oh God, she's doing that woman thing.
No.
No.
Apparently, my arm decided to hit the mute on my mic switch. So yeah, I said.
Could be for women.
You shut the fuck up. I'm done with your bullshit.
That's why we need to legalize dueling.
No.
Because I know she'll cold cock you.
Oh.
Bring it.
I don't even want to hear you.
Bring it. Oh, you're going after memes now, too? Well, you're just going after everybody.
God, Doku.
Batman. No. I don't want to hear you either.
It doesn't look like he escaped from Duck's
Too bad.
You got to admit that.
You specifically, Doku. Shut the fuck up, MC. I'm done. Doku, I came in here specifically to come after you.
Oh, you're coming after me.
You went after the USA. You said it was the USSA. You have no moral standings. You have no pride in this fucking country anymore. What happened to your goddamn pride in this country?
Maybe he has pride in what the United States used to be until fairly recently.
We can make it better.
So
why aren't you?
You want me? Let me address Sharadi then real quick. Sharadi, it's not that I don't have pride in this country. I very much do. What I have an irritation with, or more disdain of seething anger for, are the people who are trying to subvert this country into something that it's not, which is why I say the USSA, because according to the current administration, if you look at what they're doing, the actions that they're doing, the people who are in positions of power, whether they got there legitimately or not, I'm not going into that. But they are moving into a direction that is fundamentally not what this country stands for. Do I like it? No. I think it's abhorrent. I hate it. It doesn't. Just with the whole reason we started this was because of Joe Biden's speech saying, well, this isn't
And
about.
who has the ability to remove those people? We, the people.
Yeah. That's why I'm waiting for the GOP to come out and say something. I'm waiting for people to come out and say something about it. Why do you think I'm here talking about it? And why do you think I was here talking about the whole 9/18 thing that's about to go on? Yeah, this shit's fucked. If we don't do something, yeah, we're screwed. We will be the United Soviet States of America. It's bullshit. Don't get me wrong. I do not like it. But I'm not going to ignore the fact of what is going on right now, because what is going on right now is a complete subversion of what the United States stands for. As a country, what this country stands for, what we're supposed to fight for, what we're supposed to hold dear, what we're supposed to cherish as Americans is being completely ignored and subverted by people who do not have a goddamn care for this country at all. That's why they tear down our history, they rewrite the history, they burn the flag, and anybody that stands against them, they just use whatever ism faux buzzword they can as a fucking bludgeon.
Completely not a lie.
Yeah, or they lie. But
yeah, it's the same thing.
But the longer this goes on, and people don't talk about it, and the reason I say the USSA is because I want people to get mad. I want people to realize what the hell is going on, and I want them to stand up and get pissed off about it. Because the more we sit back and go, well, it's not that bad right now, or oh well, okay, we'll meet in the middle ground. Nah, that's done. That's over. These people do not want to fucking compromise with you. They don't want to coexist with you. I mean, shit, we have Biden coming out and saying like, oh, we want unity. Well, what happened to that unity? You mean you're just going to fire everybody that Trump appointed? Yeah, like what just happened with the 18 people that were, I forget the name. But they're military.
In that military school?
Yeah. He only fired the Trump people. He didn't fire the Obama people. Oh yeah, but we're gonna have unity. We're gonna have bipartisanship. We're gonna work together. We're gonna find common ground. No, they're not. It's either you submit.
He didn't fire them. He asked them to resign, and they're fighting back against it.
Or be terminated. Or be terminated. That he gave them an ultimatum. That's not asking someone to resign of their own volition. He threatened them. You can either resign and retain some of your dignity, or we're going to terminate you. He gave them an ultimatum. Like, let's be honest. Let's not mix words here. That's exactly what he did.
And whole school is attacking the president with a lawsuit.
As they should. But let's be blunt. What he did is he gave them an ultimatum. This is not about unity. This is not about the United States having, finding middle ground, finding common ground, or trying to have some sort of civil discourse. No, this is about you do what the fuck I say, and if you don't, my ass is coming for you. That's what this is. It's sending a fucking message. This is about authoritarianism and totalitarianism. That's all it is.
One of the things you just mentioned, and the other one is mean.
Yes.
Turn it off.
You're supposed to fight for the rights of everyone. That's what a real American does.
Yeah, but I was actually talking. I mean, come on.
I apologize. I had started the song before you had started talking. That was rude.
Yeah, but we didn't hear it until after. You're right, Doku, what you said, but there's one thing you missed. Complacency. Complacency is the enemy of every plan. And complacency is the ally of the insidious people who are taking the fucking world over. And they are trying to take the world over.
No, you're not wrong. I can't disagree there. I mean,
it's happening in every. It's happening in every Western country that's part of Western civilization right now.
Well, and that's what we were saying about like what was happening with Larry Elder. Like, it just had a white woman in a gorilla mask try to throw an egg at a black man, but you don't see CNN and MSNBC going crazy like, oh my God, look at the evil racist white supremacists. Like, nah, you don't hear them talking about that now, do you?
No.
Gee, I wonder why.
And yet I don't hear you telling people to call their senators or call their representatives and go, hey, I don't like this or I don't like that. Can you please do this or that? Because it's interrupting.
Oh, for the fact of the no, Sharadi, the fact of the matter is, I actually said to everybody that I follow and who follows me on Twitter, if you don't vote yes for the recall election in California, I don't want to hear a goddamn word come out of your mouth talking about fucking racism ever again, you fucking hypocrites. Because if you don't see that and go, that seems kind of racist. Yeah, did you call him the blackface to white supremacy? Haven't I heard people call Brandon Taden, Anthony Bryan Logan, Black Conservative Opinion, Hood Conservative, Candace Owens? Haven't I heard you call all them coons and Uncle Toms before? Yeah, it seems like it's not really about race to me. It sounds like you just want to smear everybody who disagrees with you politically, and you just use racism as a bludgeon and a shield.
Don't use it's a mimetic coupling. That's what CMC. You're one of the key components in mimetic theory. It's a mimetic coupling. What's a mimetic coupling? It's something that we argue about. You connect whatever like whatever it is. Movies like Star Wars. Oh my God, people arguing about Star Wars. Okay, to an extent, maybe there's a little bit of argument there at times, but very often it's like, here's the issue we disagree on. Oh, I don't like those people. I'm going to throw everything I have at them to try to destroy them. Why? Because we can. And the internet.
No, because it's the only way to defend yourself means. I've told you this before. The left isn't acting any different than they've always acted. The difference is the right is shoving it back in your face now because they've been backed against the wall. And coming back now and telling me, oh, well, wait a minute here. We got to find some common ground. That ship sailed. You had that chance 10 years ago. You had that chance 20 years ago. You had the chance to sit up there and stand up and say, wait a minute here. What's happening to Trump being accused of being, quote unquote, a Russian bot or a Russian asset or Putin's asset, okay, when there was absolutely no evidence to say, hey, wait a minute here. We need to push back on the left. You had the chance then. Where's it now?
Oh, Memes, I have a question for you. So how can...
People are thinking that I hate memes, which is absolutely not
what?
true.
Oh, no, just because I'm sitting there, I'm like, did I think those things that sound just like a whole bunch of hyperbolic attacks that were thrown out there? And the sheer fact that I'm listening on CNN without people pushing back, it's like, this president is going to kill more people than blah, blah. You're listing off like... people, hundreds of millions of people. I'm like, with all due respect, it's like, yeah, unless there's like millions of bodies around, it's like to say that. And if you're trying to refer, well, we're talking about climate change down the years and everything. That's not what you said. That's not what you said. And I apologize, MC. I was turning 18 about 20 years ago.
I still think Memes and MC are really the same person.
So, Memes, I have a question for you.
Go on.
How can you support a group of individuals who sit there and try to say they're against racism, but then a black conservative comes out, and then that same group of people sit there and call them a coon and an Uncle Tom? How do you justify that?
Often refer to those people as assholes.
So, but you see that a lot from the left, but I haven't seen the. I haven't seen.
Tell me we need to get rid of the bad lefties. I literally had one guy at a Tulsi Gabbard rally. This Democratic guy came up to me like, "Yeah, I think we a bit of a change." Everything. He's like, "We need to get rid of them." I'm just like, this guy seemed almost neurotic at the time. He's like, "No, we just need the good ones. Just need." I'm just like. He seemed very well spoken when that came up. It's like, no, people recognize this, but people also, let's face it, people don't like to call out their own in many different groups. It's like, why? Because it's a mimetic Latin. It's often not in your self-interest.
Hold on.
Did you not vote for Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah, last time.
She was one of those people.
But MC, hold on.
I saw her yelling at Jimmy.
The question I have for you then, Memes, is how often do you see a conservative come out against their opponent and use racial slurs against them versus how often do you see the left do it to conservatives?
Well, I mean, I'm just, and again, I don't have the numbers, but I tend to assume maybe just demographically you may see more candidates that kind of within different valences. I don't know. I don't know.
People who are actually running for political office that have a large voice, whether you want to call them influencers or however many Twitter followers or YouTube subscribers they have.
That does tend to be something more thrown against.
But how often do you see a conservative come out and call a liberal a racial slur say they're an ist or an ism that isn't reactionary or isn't actionary but reactionary. Like, how often do you see a conservative come out and say, well, you don't agree with my opinion, so you must be a this or a that? It
I mean,
from
that still
my
does happen. I mean, it depends
oh,
on
it
the particular
happens. It does.
scale and in which venue you're also seeing it upon.
It,
But no,
no, it
and
does.
again,
But
a lot of the
but it
media
seems
tends to
like
be more
something the
progressive. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but you need to have a form of balance. That's
But
the
it
thing.
seems
If
like
you're
something the
projecting,
left does a lot. It seems like a go-to strategy for the left, but it doesn't. It seems like the right prefers to attack people based upon their opinions and their ideologies, not necessarily throw out generalizations and slurs. It seems like the left has really adopted that strategy of you disagree with me, so I'm going to boil you down to your base points. So, oh, well, you're a black conservative. You must be an Uncle Tom or a coon, or you're a cis white male, or you must be a homophobe or transphobe. Like, that's very much a leftist tactic. It's, I
Oh
mean,
my God, you
Alright,
hurt
can
my
I-
fifis.
Can I interject there? The Uncle Tom bit always makes me laugh. If you ever read the book,
we've brought
titular,
that up.
it's true though. The titular character actually helped black slaves escape slavery.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of funny. You're
calling
actually
you're actually
saying like, hey,
complimenting them.
congratulations, you helped fight
Yeah.
slavery and oppression in the democratic South during the Civil War. Like, I know it's supposed to be a slur, but if you actually think about it, the history behind it, it's actually not. But let's make it a slur anyways. Sure,
I
why
mean, it
not?
can depend on at what time people were saying it. That's why I say it depends upon the observer. The more you're looking at physics, it's like, well, wait, this seems to depend on the observer. Like, how does that make sense? And you're like, well, there's a reference frame and everything. I'm like, does that explain us? I mean, if it explains wavy particles and we're made up of wavy particles, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's why I'm like, all right, what are the backstops? What is the potential
No.
hyperbolic hill worth dying on?
No, it's just stupid people changing words again. I have
you
dictionaries.
No, they're not stupid, Gerati, because if you change words, you change how people speak. If you change how people speak, you change how they think.
No, even that word, stupid. It used to mean the inability to learn. Now it just means ignorance.
Also, I want to point out something real quick in the chat that Dest said. The fact that they're referring to January 6th as the worst attack in American history is a disgrace. Yeah, I agree, because my dad's neighbor was actually one of the pilots, and his wife was the flight attendant on one of the planes that actually flew into one of the towers. So I actually personally knew two people who died, very close family friends. Only met them twice, but my dad's wife was a flight attendant for American Airlines. So the fact that they're trying to compare that shit or put it above what happened on 9/11 is absolutely fucking disgusting to me. And it makes me want to say words that would get this channel banned. And I'm not going to let Jensen get this channel banned just yet.
I'm sorry, Doku.
But are you... Dude, how can you say something happened? I mean, I thought that Rashida Tlaib pointed out something happened at some point. It was nothing. What are you all concerned about? And
you mean Ilhan Omar said some people did some things? Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, they did.
Memes, I want to ask you a really important question. As everyone else is jumping on you, asking you really important stuff, so I'd like to join in. So, are you okay with that, mate?
No, you're asking me or memes?
No, memes. Yeah. How you doing, man?
I don't know what I agreed to, but go on.
No. How you doing, man? You all right? It's been a while. Yeah, the rest of them are having a go at you. I'm actually.
No. Trying to solve for. Coincidentally, if you take the Planck temperature and you divide it by the Planck time, and then you divide all that by the Chandrasekhar limit, it comes out to like 9.4 times 10 to like the 44, and which is roughly like 10 to like the 45th power, which coincidentally is about the number of photons emitted by our sun per second.
Two things here. First of all, Jensen.
Batman, I need to ask one question. Did anyone here understand anything he said? I mean, anything?
No. But
okay,
two things. First of all, I haven't jumped on memes. The second thing is, I kind of did understand what memes was on about, but it's all bollocks because MC's here and his gravitational field distorts space-time.
Fair point. Okay. No, Just everyone
Um,
else was playing silly bugs with your memes, so I thought I'd do the odd one. And how's it going, man?
And I just noticed Goku had the "Oh my God" hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
All right,
those
sorry.
is-
No,
those is-
I miss you all. It's just politics. After covering, literally, at the start of this, covering at least the president's initial remarks at every single one for like the first 60 days until it got to the point where he literally just walked out. And we're just like, all right, screw this. I'm like, that drains so much of my soul to cover the stuff to just see just the BS again. We don't necessarily know anything more. Here's this, here's that. Oh, the BS going back and forth. I'm just like, oh my God. Why?
Well,
Why is this happening? And things seem to now make sense.
memes.
Mm-hmm.
You should actually. And
I just jumped into math and science, and I'm just like, it's my safe space.
But
Fair
memes in a weird backwards way. You should actually be happy with this current presidential address because Joe Biden was being honest. He told you exactly how he feels. It's not about your freedom.
I know.
It's not about your freedom.
I had to
It's
give it
not
to him. He
about
was
your.
being honest. I'm just
It's
like,
it's not about your freedom.
You're,
It's not
you
about your personal
told him
choice.
exactly what
I have the
you
executive
thought.
power. I have the executive power to do this, and I'm
Hold on a
gonna
minute.
do it because this is basically what Joe Biden. Sorry, Batman, real quick. This is basically what Joe Biden said to you. In case anybody missed this, this is not about your freedom. This is not about your personal choice. And I have the executive power to do this. So
Screw you.
fuck you.
Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
let's face it. Joe Biden's mental state. He's so far gone. He doesn't know how he feels. Those weren't his words. Those were the words of his puppet masters.
Actually, he seemed rather coherent
That's
with his.
drugs.
Yeah, it seemed
Yeah.
he actually seemed rather coherent with his address today, which was actually the more concerning part of things. I didn't really get to that point.
My
It's his
opinion,
dumb stubble.
I haven't heard this yet. I've just heard per se is it sounds like you have an individual. He's looking at his information. What's the best way to try to solve this? We need to get everybody as inoculated as we can, as quick as we can. I can understand the sentiment, but it's like, what happened to the doctrine of bodily autonomy? Just like, all right.
No, memes.
How many Americans are there, memes?
It's like probably like 350 million.
Memes.
Sorry, hold
sorry.
on, because this is important here.
No, it is
350 million, right?
something like that.
Right. Only
Probably
80 million of that 350 million are supposedly not vaccinated.
I thought they said like 52%. That would be a lot more than.
Well,
that.
according to Mr. Coherence, it was 80 million unvaccinated Americans, right?
I think you confused that with the number of Trump voters.
No,
I think it was more than that, actually.
Was it 80 million his voters?
According
well, I
to
mean, he had a few more.
81. According to memes, there should be what 175 million Americans inoculated, because he said 50%. He's 50% of 350 million is 175 million.
Yeah.
I mean, the math doesn't add up. I feel like my comparison of just taking random constants and dividing them by stuff and things came closer to within. I don't know.
Stuff and things.
I have a silly question.
Can you tell me, memes, why the president would sit up there and tell that the United States Postal Service, all right, because their union said there's no way in hell, all right, we're gonna go get this vaccination. How come they just issued a? They're exempt.
Oh, they carved them out. Well, apparently they're essential services, and they said no.
And so the customer facing unit, the United States Postal Service, they don't have to worry about getting vaccinated.
And you just set precedent for everyone else to do the exact. All I know is I grew up in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There were always seatbelt laws. I found out a couple of years ago, if you are over the age of 18, if you are an adult, you don't have to wear a seatbelt. I'm like, really? That's never been the case. It's like, no, it got challenged in court under the doctrine of bodily autonomy. Your body, your choice.
Wow.
So,
like I said, we're a progressive state, but I mean, you have doctrines and principles for a reason.
So
you don't just change them.
Hey, memes, let me ask you a question then.
Go.
So, you just had the president of the United States, supposedly the president of the free world come out and say, yeah, we don't. It's not about your personal freedom. It's not about your personal choice. I have the executive authority to do this. I'm going to make you do it. So, okay, yeah, let's say he doesn't, and you take this to court. In the meantime, you still have to deal with this, executive order coming from a president who already looked at the eviction moratorium and said, yeah, the Supreme Court ruled against this and said it was unconstitutional, but I'm just going to re-implement it anyways. And it got shot down again, but do you think he cares? do you really think the rule of law is gonna help you in that short time span where you can either
go really poorly, could go really bad really quickly.
Where you can either take the vaccine and not get fired from your job, especially now that the eviction moratorium is a thing. I mean, that was maybe that was actually by design. Who knows? But
this is why I liked Andrew Yang, because Andrew Yang's like, do you really want millions of truckers out of jobs and like not have anything to do? I'm just saying.
But memes, here's an important question, and a lot of people don't like to bring this one up, but I'm going to bring it up. So let's say you do get pressured into taking the vaccine, and there are adverse side effects. You can't hold Moderna or AstraZeneca or Pfizer or Johnson. You can't hold them liable. The government.
That's my big thing. No, see, my thing is, okay, there's a pandemic, there's an emergency. It's like, okay, all right. At that point, it's like, we need these emergency vaccines. Well, we're not sure. Well, we're going to give you full immunity. Okay, if you're going to give the companies full immunity, okay, that's fine. But in a country where you can literally sue almost anybody for almost anything, like even Mr. Trump had done on some occasions, and President as well, the sheer fact that a judge could sue a laundromat for tens of millions of dollars over a pair of pants, and you're telling me that something you were saying that in order to continue your life, you must do this, and if there's no effect, not only is the company not affected, but the government that ordered you to do this has no liability as well. I sit back, I'm like, I see problems here. I see a lot of problems, and the first one you shouldn't even get to. It's like, my body, my choice, your body, your choice, doctrine of bodily autonomy. That's
memes. By the way, once you get the vaccine, obviously, if you have adverse side effects to it, you can't sue anyone. But here's the bigger question. So the president of the United States is using executive authority to essentially say, you have to get the vaccine, otherwise you cannot do A, B, C, or D, regardless of what your doctor says.
I mean, you start talking about like the interstate commerce clause and everything, and this is the thing. It's like, I understand what you're trying to communicate, the way you communicated it. It's like, anybody that's ever done sales, it's like, if you're trying to sell something, nobody likes the pushy salesman. Everyone loves to buy. Nobody likes to be sold. This is not the way to go about it, Mr. President.
There's something more significant here. You can't, obviously, you can't sue AstraZeneca or Pfizer, and the government is using executive authority. Do you think you're going to be able to sue the government? Probably not. An issue, but not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is...
How do you have zero liability? Sorry.
Hold on. Memes, the biggest issue is this. Once you take the vaccine, even if you have negative health, adverse side effects, you've already taken the vaccine. Can you take it back? Can you do anything to change that? Sure. Even if, let's say you can sue the government. Let's say you can sue Pfizer. Let's say you can sue AstraZeneca. What are you going to sue them for? Enough money to get a heart transplant? I'm sorry, guys, I can't work. Like, I could sue the government for, the medication I need to take for my nerve damage, but I can't work anymore because I happen to be one of the rare side effects. Or I don't know. Can you sue them when you're dead? Maybe we should.
Not my biggest issue. What about the children that are allergic to damn near everything?
Yeah. After Shirati's finished.
I happen to have a child that's allergic to almost anything except for a certain few things. And this includes aloe, and there's a shit ton of stuff with aloe in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Throughout the years, Sorry, you thought you finished.
If she gets that vaccine, it could potentially kill her. So she will not be taking it. What happens if the government goes, oh, she's going to be forced to take it because she's within the age range?
Wouldn't she have a medical exemption?
There is no exemption in regards to an executive order. That's basically what Joe Biden stated. He doesn't fucking care.
Yeah, and did you not see the woman who had her child taken away, even though she had a medical exemption?
Yes,
because she was allergic.
I covered that. It was over in Chicago. The judge did about face as soon as people inquired into it.
And memes.
Only because
let's be blunt.
Inquired into it.
Let's be blunt. The only reason that judge did an about face is because that got a lot of attention and it went viral and people were talking about it. But if it wasn't for social media and people talking about it and saying yo, this is a gross overreach of power, that judge would not have overturned that. And anybody that thinks otherwise, I'm sorry, you're fucking wrong. You can have your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion, but your opinion would be wrong. I'm just saying, your opinion's fucking wrong.
That's I actually got to go, but hey, no, it's good catching up with all you. Yeah, unfortunately, legalized dueling, I guess.
Give Mitch a link, because he'd be good in this. I've said this a few times, right? We, throughout the 20th century, we have been through fucking real pandemics that were actually as bad or even worse, much worse than COVID-19.
H1N1 was almost as worse.
Swine flu was worse.
Yeah, when swine flu,
avian flu was worse. The Hong Kong flu was worse than both of them put together. We survived them with minimal fatalities, maximum fucking recovery, and we didn't wear masks. We didn't go on these fucking insane fucking social distancing, lockdown, any of the shit that we're going through now. This isn't about the virus. The virus is just an excuse.
And I've
got a question before you finish.
And I actually need to just say one thing, Mitch. The link is in your Discord DMs if you wish to come in. Carry on, guys.
And I've got a question now. Our respective governments, how far do you think they are from declaring martial law?
Very close.
Because once they declare martial law, do you think they're ever going to give it up?
No. What do you think this whole thing with the 18th of this month is all about?
Yeah, the capital thing.
Okay. Yeah. And again, just to clarify this, do not go into DC, anybody. If you're in DC, leave. Get the hell away from this. We all know that it's going to be twisted, but at least if you're not there, you can morally say, fuck you, I wasn't there.
Yeah, if you have to be there, just go about your business and don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
No.
Right, some people have to be there.
The government.
Leave your fucking phones at home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have pointed out about mobile phones for absolutely ages, and people still like to point out that I'm just paranoid. No, they can track you, people. They really, really can. This isn't a joke. Okay. But I would ask one question of the audience. Do you think, based on memes and Doku's little chats, that I should rename this show Battle of the Beards? Put 1 if you think yes. Doku did. Right there. That's it. That was exactly what I was going for.
Now, could I ask the chat something?
Yep.
Since you've seen his face now, do you think we should rename him Osama bin Doku? I'm sorry, Doku. I didn't mean to choke you.
That would have been cool. You almost got him to spew. You almost got him. It was close.
Yep.
You're trying to kill me.
Yes.
No, if I was trying to kill you,
To be fair, I was only going for a half sip, but then when you did that, there was one of two options. It's either spew or chug the whole thing down, because the second swig is going to get everything back down. God.
Always Susan's on your side. She said no.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I got someone on my side.
The thing is with all due respect to Doku, right? His beard is not close to Memes's. Now, Memes's hair is shorter than Doku's. Doku's going for the, his hair down below his knees apparently, but that's a separate issue. He's going for the Crystal Gale look. For those
the thing is, I started growing it out because I was going to donate it to cancer patients, but COVID. So
you're going to give it to COVID patients now?
Well, I can't go to a fucking barber apparently because I guess that's not allowed. So
yeah, those of us who with a follically challenged scalps are in the advantage here. We just sit at home and shave our heads.
Well, I have one of two options. I spent 2 years growing it out. I wanted to donate it for a good cause, but it's like, yeah, you're not allowed to go to a barber. Like, well,
that took you 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
When I was in my 20s, I grew my hair that long in 6 months.
Well, I guess I drink too much then.
But back in his day, there were people constantly pulling on it to get it to grow.
Oof.
Hey, MC, back in your youth, there was no such thing as DNA, so shut up.
Hey, Mitch.
Hello,
Good
Mitch.
morning. Well, I see everyone's as pissed off as I am. What happened to Memes?
Oh,
ran away.
Memes ran very quickly.
Memes did not run. Let's be fair. Memes didn't run.
He spent
a lot longer on here than I didn't expect him to come in.
No.
I got to point out, Doku, that there are no more cancer patients.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're all COVID patients. I forgot.
Memes actually proves something.
I thought Biden cured cancer. Isn't that what he was supposed to do?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes, becoming a zombie cures
all you
cancer.
had to do was let's just say all he had to do was fund a foreign laboratory and mandate thalidomide in orange juice and force everyone to drink it.
Yep. But like I said, Memes proves something. You can get likable lefties.
He's not okay. I'm going to technically defend him. He's not technically a lefty. He's a centrist.
No,
you can tell.
He's a wishy-washy asshole.
He's a squish.
All right, I'm gonna catch shit for saying this, but Jensen, are you saying that Memes is a moderate lefty?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Say what you want about Memes. At least he's willing to talk to us.
Yeah.
True.
Personally, I think Sharati and MC says wishy-washy. I've got to kind of agree. I reckon he's got welcome tattooed on his chest.
Look, I love Memes to pieces, but he really is an asshole. And if you've ever pissed him off, you'd know that. MC knows that.
He gets all snarky, doesn't he?
That's when he starts spewing physics to try to make himself think that he's smarter than everybody else.
Which is kind of funny when you work on the idea that MC's here and Memes is trying physics.
Snarky.
Yeah. But I still see that MC and Memes are two sides of the same of somebody's multiple personality disorder.
I don't know what the hell you just said. Multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we see Memes, we never see MC.
Wait, Batman, are you saying MC and Memes, if you put them together, are basically Edward Mordrake?
I think he's saying that Memes is a ventriloquist.
No, it's Dr. Memes and Mr. MC.
So you're trying to say that MC...
Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dear, what do you like?
Mr. Jive. That's my new nickname now. Mr. Jive. Is this what we're going with?
I thought it was Mr. the Plague.
Oh,
you had a voice figured out and everything.
Aren't you from the 70s, MC?
What?
Aren't you from the 70s?
What
70s.
Yeah,
What about
not the 1970s, just the 70s.
I'm much older than all the rest of you. Yes.
Okay, then. Just like me and Batman, we're in that same age group, man. You're from the 70s. You could be Mr. Jive. I want to tell you something about 70s TV. If you watch a bunch of 70s TV, you're gonna see a lot of the black characters calling someone a jive turkey.
Yeah.
And the conclusion I've come to is that jive turkey is 70s TV code language for motherfucker.
No, a jive turkey is a large flightless bird that likes to dance.
What?
It's funny. You're trying to follow logic with Batman. That's your first mistake, bitch.
The thing is, I think, you know that scene in Airplane where you got those two black guys talking to each other?
Yeah.
MC can understand them.
Well, I can understand them.
I can't. I don't speak jive.
Jensen, did you really
Didn't
just
trip, but the
move all
folks were
the old
freaking,
people
and the
down
pilots
at the
was laid to
bottom
the
and all
bone.
the young people to the top?
Yes.
Sexist, ageist.
Like,
My mama
hold
didn't
on.
raise no dummy. I dug her rap.
Hold on, shouldn't it be if that's the case, shouldn't it be a separate category for MC?
Why do you think he's in the middle? He's
To
got
be
the
fair,
trivia in his orbit.
MC's grandchild is Father Time, so
Yeah.
Oh God, that means my grandmother must be motherfucker.
Yeah, this is you know that one of the ideas of the universe is expands, it contracts, and there's a new universe born. MC can remember 3 universes ago.
I'm not quite that old.
I expanded
Okay,
the universe
no,
last time I took
no,
a shit.
whoa. Not quite. You noticed he
Yeah.
did that. Okay.
That's why I said okay 2 universes ago.
Yeah.
only 2.
How far away are we from someone saying that it's all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey?
I mean, yeah, oh no, that's very
It already happened, but memes left.
Oh, okay. Damn.
So what you're saying there, Mitch, though, is that you fully approve and endorse Joe Biden's statement, and that you're all for bringing about his universal suffrage for us all.
No,
No,
absolutely
MC,
not.
MC,
Let me
you
make
said
this
it wrong.
perfectly clear.
MC, you said it wrong. It's not suffrage, it's suffering.
Good
Oh,
point.
Really close to your
my mistake.
pronunciation. Yeah.
I want to make something perfectly clear. My rights, my liberties, and my freedoms are non-transferable.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
Yeah, I've always had them. Next.
There is a zombie apocalypse coming, but it's not the Walking Dead. It's the fucking leftist drones.
It's the walking brain dead.
Yeah, the leftist drones.
We have an entire culture of people now who have been so inculcated against open discussion and thinking concepts through to a conclusion, whether logical or otherwise, that they just, the shallowness of their thinking is beyond extraordinary.
Yeah, or even accepting the real diversity, which is a diversity of ideas and opinions.
Yes. I mean, an idea that you can't openly discuss and challenge is an idea that can never get stronger.
I think
One
that's
moment,
because
please.
they're literally taught to be afraid of everything that is against what they were taught in school.
One moment, please.
you-
Guys, one sec, sorry. You can never go straight after Batman. Doku, picture, DMs, get ready to share it when you're ready.
Sure,
Oh,
you're
God.
not quite right, but you're mostly right. It's just people have been taught to be afraid of everything. Just leave it there, because literally from sunlight to the food we eat, people are taught to be afraid of it. I mean, Mitch and MC mostly, probably Doku as well. Definitely Jensen because he was in the army. Yeah, the amount of sunburns we've had in our lifetimes.
Oh, God.
We, according to modern people, we should be dead years ago with skin cancers.
You're welcome, Shirati. I think
I've
it
seen
had to
it.
be somewhere.
I've seen that one.
Aww, you're welcome, dear.
It had to be done. Sorry, it was mentioned earlier, so I thought, yeah, okay, And Doku is my go-to guy for showing stuff.
When do I get the tags?
Something I tweeted out which I got off Oz.
No. When do I get the tag? I assume that there's a limit that the ones that we can shoot and put on our hood.
No.
Don't we get hunting tags with these lobbies?
You have to go to your.
Season on these? Is this open season? We don't have a limit? Is this how it works?
Hey,
Honey,
guys,
you have to go to your local DNR and ask for the zombie tags.
guys,
I think there's an unlimited amount.
Something I got off Oz in my DMs, so I thought I'd share it with you all.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong.
I really hate the fact that that's actually extremely accurate.
It is. It's frighteningly accurate.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! I've actually seen all of them. Sorry, I've actually seen all of them.
I haven't seen a
no,
animated.
Most people don't see it for what it is.
No,
I haven't
it's
seen
actually
animated steel.
it's
Like,
actually
quite
disturbing.
cool.
It's actually disturbing. I know the word that our ideological opposites love to use is intersectionality. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me present you with
The thing is,
intersectionality. And
you look at
this is your world. Just
You
a
look
little bit of dystopian here, a little bit of dystopian there. Let's just
Yep.
mix it all up in the middle. Yeah, there you go. There's your
you look at all of these.
your cocktail.
You look at all of these works of fiction here, right? They've all got one thing in common. They were all negative comments on the way on how society is or the way society is heading.
Yeah, why couldn't we have kept them as negative elements instead of using it as a fucking handbook?
Yeah.
But by the way, Susan, when you're talking about, you remember lime green suits? Hell, they went so far as to sit there and make lime green golf balls.
Wow.
God, I remember
Hey.
those things.
They still have
Remember the
lime-
orange one,
lime
but that's
green.
from a movie.
They still
At least
have
you could-
lime green.
At least you can see the orange ones if you lose them. The lime green ones just disappear in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And before I forget about this, Mitch, you brought up the idea of the walking brain dead.
Mm-hmm.
You should actually pitch that to the people who do the Common America and the Walmite series, because that would be a really good parody comic.
Maybe. I mean,
It's not a bad idea. And hey, capitalism.
it wouldn't
you
be
can make
a-
money off of it. Why
That's
not?
pretty good, Sean. That one is.
Yes. I like that.
It didn't work on MC.
let's face it. It would be. It wouldn't be fiction.
Nope.
Oh, that's the problem. It wouldn't be fiction. You'd have to tweak it to make it fiction.
What happens when
Yeah.
when the little stone in your hand turns white?
Turned black, actually.
Turns white. Turns
Turned
clear.
black.
Oh,
It turned
God,
clear, Dingleberry.
It's the reality now.
He's
You're
right.
gay.
The problem is, we have no room to escalate. Is the problem,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
That's,
I'll explain that for anyone who's confused by what I mean there. I don't mean an automatic escalation to shooting guns and stuff like that. I don't mean that at all. But anytime we escalate, those of us who are inured with the concept of liberty, anytime we escalate, we're going to be painted as an extremist. And anytime we don't escalate, not only is it a tacit, what's the word I'm looking for?
Surrender.
Someone.
surrender.
Well, yeah, that. Not only is it a tacit surrender, but it also gives them, in the court of public opinion, the ability to say, see, no one supports these ideas.
It's an ideological retreat.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have to do something. We have to escalate somehow, but we have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that in order to do that, we're going to have to be very patient, because it's going to have to be a generational thing. We're not going to see it in the next year or the next 2 years. It's going to be 5-10 years, maybe 20.
People are pointing that there is pushback against the left now, and they're insane ideas. But I think it's too little, too late.
Yes.
Sorry guys.
I don't agree.
I've got to leave. So.
All right,
see you
mate.
guys later. Bye.
Don't worry. See you soon,
All right.
man. Bye bye.
See you later.
He said that really quiet, quietly.
Well,
I wasn't sure it was him.
He's got to go back to the center of the galaxy to make sure that it doesn't fall apart.
Right.
Don't be silly. He's feeding Peck. He's got to go and eat ego. Right. To be honest, it's getting rather late.
Yeah,
I
it
just
is.
got here.
I know.
Is.
Sorry, dude.
It is
I really
late for
am.
Jensen. It is late for Jensen. Mitch, if you ever want to continue a conversation like this, I'm actually more than open to it because I do think we have an ability to escalate, but I don't think it's in the manner that a lot of people would presume it to be.
I've had a few ideas actually, and I'm looking at doing some live streaming on the nights when, or even during the day when Arthur can't.
Mm-hmm.
So I may have to take you up on that so we can compare notes and maybe generate some ideas.
Hey, if I'm available, just let me know, dude. Because
right.
I think it starts mostly with two areas: bankrupt the media. It starts with it starts with two areas.
Okay.
Bankrupt the media, but that starts with discrediting the media. But they do a good enough job of that of themselves. But you just have to point it out because let's be blunt, they lie. I mean, they do. I mean, look at the Rolling Stones' most recent article. They fucking
That's
lie.
their primary function at this point.
Yeah, so discredit the media. They get defunded, but get them off the chessboard. Take out that pawn. The most important aspect, though, is the public education system. That is where the real battle should take place because
we are very much on the same page. That's why I say it's going to be there's going to be a generational element to it where we are just going to have to be patient.
Oh, and that was their strategy to begin with originally. Is if you go back and you look at what happened post World War II with
Nikolai Brezhnev or whatever the fuck that guy's name is.
Brezhnev, but also not even just him, but the Cloward Piven strategy, this Saul Alinsky. The institutions, the universities that didn't have to adhere to government standards, rules, and regulations, but were more, quote, free thinking, they got completely swamped by essentially,
tyranny.
But not just leftists. It's far left radical leftism, Marxism, basically. Yeah.
Good night, fellas.
Good night, Sharati.
Mm-hmm.
But it all started there. So there is an aspect where if you really want pushback against this, there's two areas you can look at. One is the media, second is education. If you don't take those two back, you can take back the House, the Senate, the White House,
and it won't matter.
Yeah, it won't amount for jack shit.
Because the media is our civilization's culture. Yeah, sorry.
I know this is going to sound.
Education is obviously our culture, civilization's future.
Well, I know this is going to sound bad, but remember, and once I'm done on this one because I know Jensen has to go. Remember when the choir came out and says, "Yes, we're coming for your children."
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke, guys.
Sure it is.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
The first guy on that video, he had the most punchable face on the internet before he opened his mouth.
Oh, and that's the thing. You have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself this question. Why do they have such an obsession with children? Why do they want to control the education system? Well, I know a lot of people would want to say, "Oh, it's a pedophilia thing."
No, it's not.
Some elements, yeah, maybe. But really what it boils down to is they just want to control the way that the next generation is going to think.
Yeah.
That's why they don't.
It's the Jugendführer from Hitler's Germany. It's the young pioneers from Soviet Russia.
Well, yeah, it's like that guy it's like what do you call the old Mormon hierarchy? Brigham Young University.
And the thing is, we already see this, and we have proof of it. That's why you have teachers saying, "Don't talk to your parents. You're probably smarter than your parents. Build their children up. I'm your teacher. You can talk to me. Don't talk to your parents. They're dumb."
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you think they're doing that? I mean, it doesn't take a genius to put two and two together on this one.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking obvious.
Whereas my teachers would tell me the opposite. Yeah. If teacher couldn't answer it, go and ask your dad. Go and ask your mom.
And Arthur and I have been we're big on get your kids out of the public schools. until such time as the public schools are fixed. And that's only going to happen if people like us get on the school boards.
Well,
And
get
even
on the
then,
school
that power
boards.
is limited.
Get on the school boards, but more before we get on the school boards, because let's be honest, that's going to take a lot more time. The quickest and easiest thing you can do, just take your kids out of the public school system and strangle them. Like literally strangle the public school system. That's the best
that's
thing.
what I mean.
Word
That's
is that.
why we've
All I've got to say about
so much.
American school boards is Phil McCracken, Eileen
Go.
Dover, Eileen Dover.
Over. Anyways, it's 8
Remember
o'clock.
Jensen's got to run.
Yep, Jensen's got to run. It's 8 o'clock.
Jensen's got to run.
So
Sorry, guys. I do have to head.
Hey, life
Yeah,
Got to
happens.
bed, mate.
Are there any final words before I do my goodbye, everybody speech?
the final words are fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Jensen, go the fuck to bed. You've been awake for way too long, and thank you for hosting the show. Good night, everybody. Cheers.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Go
Bye-bye,
away. It's
everyone.
over.
My last words are simple. Respect liberty.